Hey guys, Travis here on day 2 of week 6 of the LCS, joined by the Oddone, following the second game we've seen this season between TSM and CLG. First time CLG got you guys. This time you guys really showed really strong against them. It was just kind of a stomp out the gate from what I could tell. What happened those games that sort of let you guys do so well?
So in the CLG game, like we sort of figured as soon as we looked at the picks and bans, what they were trying to go for, we realized that they probably wanted to dive Dyrus a lot because they banned out a lot of his picks. But another telltale sign was when we banned Tarek, for some reason it took them like 40 seconds to do their first pick, so we knew that it was like 100. That made it just 100% sure. So when we got into the game, we decided to have two bottom, the 2v2, because we know Thresh and Draven would dominate whatever opponent they have. So then we'd just dive hotshot with me and Zed. So we'd probably win two lanes at once like that, and just mostly snowballed from there.
So that was the first time, and I've heard CLG sort of talk about this, that they have this thing where hot shot goes Karthus, and then if he gets dived, he just dies but clears the wave, and then the other lane ends up winning. So this was something I heard that you guys had actually seen against them in scrims. So is this, like, were you guys just sort of prepared against this sort of Karthus strat with protecting the tower and all that kind of thing?
Uh, yeah, usually when we face that, yeah, he just farms. So it's different compared to other laners because when he dies, he can still get the CS and gold by just farming. Then he teleports back on the tower and the tower lives. So in this case, we just decided to just have a 2v2 bottom and just see how that goes while forcing pressure top still. Like we still killed him. Like it's when Zed gets kills, it just becomes a snowball mid lane. So Zed got really, really strong from that. Wasn't really, yeah, we didn't really know what laner to pick. We knew they'd pick someone with wave clear because if they're diving Dyrus, Hotshot GG just must clear waves and hold the tower. So we just kept diving them over and over. That's one way to deal with it. And then you can finally get the tower. Then you can pressure the rest of the map. And then we sort of figured he'd do blue buff as well. That's why we put a ward there because we didn't want Karsus to solo it. I believe Marn actually did, for some reason they did something very similar to that,
Yeah.
and it didn't work for them. But yeah, so in the Marn game, yeah, it's very similar to what happened. But eventually we got bot tower first in the Marn game because we were protecting the lane that they were pushing in, which was mid lane. So mostly in that situation, you just want to keep pressuring the Karsus lane while holding all your towers, and then eventually their tower will die first.
So a lot of the time, the casters, you guys would make these really big plays. You'd play these super aggressive lanes in that game, and the casters sort of felt like Wildturtle was sort of leading the charge in some of these situations, like Draven on the front line throwing the axes, and they actually said in a couple situations that they felt as though the addition of Wildturtle in these games was making you guys almost play more aggressive than you normally did, or just sort of creating a different style for you. Do you agree with that? Or was it just sort of the way that game flowed out, or is it just a little bit different having him on the team and being able to play Draven and some of these more aggressive champions?
Sometimes it's a little different because sometimes like Wild Turtle will go really, really aggressive when normally we'd be passive and back off. Like there was bot lane, he almost killed Afromu when he walked up. I just went man mode on him. Then there was a 4v5 top near the end of the game. Like we're trying to move back because we didn't think we'd win, but Draven just kept tossing axes at whoever got close, and it was like, wow, we can go back in. So we didn't. Yeah, I think Reggie was like even watching that as well. And then we took tower because Draven did so much damage to their whoever tried to chase us out of whoever tried to chase us. So I we're getting used to it. Like he does really aggressive plays suddenly, so sometimes it really pays off, like in the CLG game. So it's a nice change of pace.
So is that something you guys have embraced? You mentioned that Reggie was sort of watching it. Like, is that something where you're just sort of like, well, I mean, this seems to be working. Like, let's just trust him and let's go for it. Or because I mean, for a lot of teams, like you'd have a shot caller, dedicated shot caller, being like, "No, get back, Wild Turtle, calm down, like a dog on a leash," you know. But it seems like you guys have kind of embraced that this weekend.
He's been doing very well, despite limited time with the team. Yeah, like the AD carry, like I believe when he played on other teams, that maybe they didn't really cover him as much when he went really, really aggressive. Like, so if we just let him go aggressive on his own, he'll die. But so we just have to stay near each other. Like we were calling to go back, but. Like I didn't want to leave the AD carry, that's why I didn't run too far away. But then I realized he was actually winning like 1v3 or whatever, and I realized we just gotta cover him when he does stuff like that and hope it works out.
Well, I mean, it worked out for you. I think this is the first time you guys have gone 3-0. So, but I don't want to harp on this too much because I already talked to Special about it. But do you have any insight right now on whether or not KX will be here next week? Is that generally the plan right now? Is that he'll be returning, or is that all on Reggie? What's the status with that?
It's probably mostly on Reggie. Like the hard decisions, he usually is stuck with. Like we all give our input and see how it goes. So I'm not sure which way it's gonna be leaning. So we'll see. But both of them are really good AD carries. So who knows what will happen next week.
So wrapping up, you have any plugs or shout-outs you want to make?
Shout out to all my fans, my friends who support me, and my girlfriend who supported me. Thanks. And our sponsors: Qualcomm Snapdragon, Astro, Asus, Gunner, Corsair, Kingston HyperX, Origin PC, and Ventrilo. Thank them all for helping us out.
Hey, really appreciate the interview. Very insightful. Congratulations on your win. For everyone, this is Travis on the 6th week of the LCS Day 2. You can check out the rest of our LCS coverage at gamespot.com/LCS.